I am very much regretting telling you this story, by the way. Nobody else who's listening, I regret, but telling you the story, I deeply regret. Hello and welcome to the Carpool Guys podcast, where three dads just trying their best talk about life, work, family, and all the detours in between. We've made mistakes, lots of mistakes, but we've also learned a few things along the way. We don't have it all figured out, but that's never stopped us from sharing our 2 cents anyway. The Carpool Guys podcast is hosted by Asher Dworetsky, John Ackerman, and Dave from Flatbush Tenenbaum. Buckle up, it's carpool time. All right, we are back. The Carpool Guys, it's Ackerman, it's Dworetsky. It is not Tenenbaum. Dave is not with us tonight.
Yeah, Dave is off gallivanting in Camp Kaylie. He is helping out over there with their intern program, which is really amazing.
I love it. I really love everything about Kaylie, but tell us what you're thinking about, because I know, Asher, you got some thoughts on Camp Kaylie. So what
Well, I
are
was
you
just
thinking about this
there,
week?
and I loved it. I mean, I love Avnet also. That's where I work on a daily basis. But my older boys are there in Kaylie. Shout out to Izzy, by the way, whose birthday was over the weekend.
Happy birthday,
to
Izzy.
him. Happy birthday to Izzy. And huge fan of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Before he went to camp, he insisted on listening to the raw audio of the podcast because he didn't want to miss even an episode. So shout out to probably our number one listener, I would imagine.
All right. Number one fan, Izzy Dworetsky. By the way, that was a good show. That was the Ellie Leibowitz episode, right?
It was amazing. We got some amazing feedback. Baruch Hashem, it was really great. I think he had a good time, and we had a good time. But we had a great time in Kaylie. They do such a beautiful job up there. My kids are learning, and I felt so much Hakar Satov. I even sponsored a day of learning up there in Camp Kaylie because I felt so much Hakar Satov to the staff, to the Rabbeim, to Eli Brazil, and to Rabbi Rosenthal, and Rabbi Sif, and Rabbi Leibowitz, and Rabbi Rosner, and all the amazing people, Rabbi Kurtz. It's just incredible. The list goes on and on and on, and I'm obviously leaving out everybody. But they do such a beautiful job. And I can't say enough. Sometimes I wish I could take a vacation and just be there on what Rabbi Sif calls the magical island of Camp Kaylie.
It's amazing. My kids were in Kaylie for multiple years. We love Camp Kaylie. I'll even say both of my kids who went there had food allergies, and the hoops that they jumped through to take care of my kids was amazing, was incredible.
Well, we also have resident expert camp mom, Rachel Saknovitz, who is unbelievable.
My gosh. Rachel is amazing. Shouts to Rachel. She took such... Can I tell you something?
I think we should call her Mommy Rachel, to be fair. Mommy Rachel, to be fair.
Mommy. I'm not sure that I can call her Mommy Rachel, but I will tell you this. She took such good care of my daughters. One of my kids, who shall remain nameless, lest she be mortified for this. Not that that's like a deal breaker, because I've embarrassed her publicly before.
That's
but
the whole
she would
idea
go
of
out of
this
her way
podcast, is it not?
And make my kids grilled cheese all the time. She would make them food when they just were either stubborn or no, stubborn. I think that's what it was about eating the camp food. She took such good care of them. And always, by the way, her husband bringing up food every single Friday. Amazing.
It's amazing. I drop stuff off at their house, and he just brings it up. He's a superstar.
Yeah.
He is the unsung hero.
West Hempstead.
Hero. The first husband of Camp Kaylie.
The first husband.
Something like that. I don't know. Whatever it is. But really, we had a beautiful time, and they always do such a beautiful thing on, I know, I'm saying beautiful. John gave me like a little bit of critique earlier today about, and now he's in my head about, I say the word amazing and I say the word beautiful all the time. Now, to be fair, John, earlier this week, we had a debate in the Avnet DRS office about people who say correct when you're talking and you're having a conversation and you make a brilliant point, like, in theoretical physics, the entire world is made of strings, and the other person goes correct. And you're like, I'm the brilliant one. Why do you need to supersede me with your correct? And then I proceeded to make fun of everybody in the office. And they're like, oh, you're making us self-conscious, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, correct. I am. That is my goal in life, is to make you feel self-conscious.
Listen, in my defense, when I have to sit and I do not just like the live show with you and with Dave, and we go through the whole thing, and then I have to go through it like literally word by word on the edit, and then I listen to it again afterwards. I pick up all the little things, so I get to be a little
That's fair.
nitpicky.
That's fair, but notice I'm not saying correct. I'm validating your point. I'm saying you're right. You do all the hard work on the editing side, but I'm not taking credit, and I'm not saying I am superior. I'm just saying you are right.
You can validate the point without saying, I have graded your statement, and I found it to be correct.
So that was a big part of it. People started talking about it. A few people made the point that when you're a teacher, which I also am, then you are, and many of the people in the room were, is that is like a default thing, is that you're trying to say, yes, that's a good point, that's correct, or whatever it is. So maybe teachers have a difficult time like slipping out of that mode, so they say correct, but I think more people say correct after you make the most brilliant point in the entire world. I think people do it. I want to put out a poll. We're going to do this on YouTube. Do you think when you make a brilliant point and the other person says correct, does it irritate you as much as it irritates me? Or is it just that I'm just, very sensitive to it because, I am a middle child. I'm as short as Jalen Brunson. All these things that I have within myself and my own psyche. Or do you think that it's a legitimate way to have a conversation? Or do you think it makes the other person feel superior?
Well, let me ask you on your point. Is it worse when somebody says like this, like you say something and they're dying, they're like chomping at the bit to jump in, and they go like this. They're like, correct, but so wait, so was it correct or was it not correct? They were so excited to say correct, they're like chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I'm not I think everybody should be given the opportunity. Somebody called me the other today. They left actually a voice message for me. It was it's an honor sometimes that somebody called me for advice, and I'm like, okay. And I was just listening to the person, and all I did was like reflect back, and I was like, it sounds like you did an amazing job. They were put in a tough situation. They had to speak truth to power. They had to speak up. No one else wanted to do it, and they had to do it. And I said to the person, you had a tough job ahead of you, and you did it. You put yourself out there, and it sounds like you did a great job. And the person was like, wow, thank you for saying that. I think that's our job in life, is to just boost people up instead of making ourselves feel like stop it. Stop with the correct John. You did it again. Sorry to all the people out there that I just burst their eardrums. But it's like, it drives me crazy. It's like, why can't I have my point? Give me my chance.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. I'm not going to say the C word. I totally agree with what you're saying. I love what you're saying about the message, but let me ask you, have we entered in sort of a new stage right now about people leaving super long voice notes? I'm getting these 4-minute, 5-minute long voice notes. They're podcasts at that point.
Okay, listen. They're not podcasts. They're not, because they don't have Jon Ackerman as their editor. And we know that a podcast has to be edited by Jon Ackerman, LLC. What else do you have? No, but in reality, I think most people understand that you could put it on a faster speed, and it's okay. But I think there probably is a time frame. I'm curious. Again, another clip for YouTube or Instagram or whatever, or in honor of Dave, a Vine. Maybe we'll make a...
Yes, Dave, this is a Vine. Just for you, Dave.
Just for you. How long, we want to put this out there to you all, how long is too long a WhatsApp voice message?
Yeah. That was poetic. How long is too long a WhatsApp voice message?
So I'm going to say over 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Try to keep it under 2 minutes. In fact,
I think you're right.
I think WhatsApp should shorten it to just be 2 minutes. Just like they have those the circle videos that's a minute, a voice message should be 2 minutes.
I agree with you. It feels like when somebody leaves a voice note that's 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, it feels like the person's saying, I want to have a conversation with you, except I only want to have my half of the conversation with you,
right?
Not your half of the conversation. And I don't think it's intentional, but it's a little bit self-centered. I don't want to say it's insulting. But
They're a
it's little
super villain who monologues. That's isn't that the character trait of a super villain, that they monologue and tell you their entire plan.
Right.
Also, like, delete it and record it again. No one will judge you.
Yeah. It's too much. And then I'm not going to listen to it. When it's that long, I'm like, okay, when's my next car ride that I can listen to this? Because I'm not spending like 5 minutes of whatever I'm doing to listen to this voice note. Just call. If honestly, just call me. By the way, not for nothing, the era of just calling people, I feel like also, is that over? Or we now have to text people to ask them if it's okay to call?
By the way, I prefer calling than texting and emailing any day of the week. I would happily sit on the phone for 45 minutes with someone rather than go back and forth on like 3,000 emails. First of all, you really get much more empathy in a phone call. I think I have that luxury in my job. Like, I have the opportunity to spend 45 minutes. I am not the principal of the school. And if there is a situation that's going on with a student, I can sit on the phone for 45 minutes. We build a partnership between me and a parent. And I really feel like that phone call is sometimes critical.
Yeah, I agree with you. I am phone call for sure over email. And I think that texts and voice notes are great for short bursts. Quick question, quick thing, no problem, But if you really want to have a conversation, they're not made for conversation.
I'm also very into, if you're going to like if you send a Shiloh to, let's say, one of your Rabbeim or something like that, send the voice message and then write a little descriptor underneath. Even though it does transcribe it, although I will tell you there have been some major errors with the transcribing.
AI
I don't even want to tell you. AI makes mistakes. But it just right underneath. This is urgent.
Right. Let's come back for a second. Camp Kaylie, you survived, and not only survived, you thrived at visiting day. This year, we have no visiting day. My kids are on programs where there's no visiting day. And I have to tell you, I loved seeing my kids at visiting day. I don't miss it. I don't miss the long drive there. Certainly the long drive, that ride back is just...
The ride back is brutal. We did stop in New Jersey. We got a chance to visit a very good friend of mine, Rabbi Yisrael Silverman, for all those people from Mariah or Hartorah. And we stopped for like 2 seconds just to say hello, but it was a really nice visit. But yeah, it's a long ride. The ride there's anticipation. The ride back, and especially on a July 4th weekend, it's a lot. There were times we were not doing anything. It was not easy.
Hard. And if your kids get as car sick as my kids do, it just becomes a quest for survival.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of car, by the way, I don't think I ever mentioned this, but a huge shout out to Izzy. Izzy, after he graduated, he didn't have school for like 8 more days or whatever. It was probably like just 5. It was probably 5 days. He was so bored, he literally cleaned my car.
Wow.
Now, my car has not been cleaned in generations.
Is that like, and call back to our good friend Eli Leibowitz, he jokes about like during the 9 days, you want meat so badly that you will even learn Torah to make a siyum.
Bored. He just so bored that he'll clean your car. But he literally, I looked at the floor. I haven't seen that floor in years. I sell my car for Pesach because I'm so scared of it. And he cleaned it. It was unbelievable.
Amazing.
This kid.
And what's the reward? What's the reward for that?
I offered him money and he said, I don't want anything.
Wow.
He happens to be, he's a special kid. Before he went to camp, he wanted to get a phone. Before he went to camp, so he could have a phone number just in case, somebody wanted his number, which I thought was okay. We went to the Verizon store.
Hey, Verizon, if you want to sponsor the show, we will gladly take.
Yeah, that's probably true. So we opened this account. He got a free phone, which was very nice. And I said to him, I'm like, you sure you want to open this the night before camp? And he goes, you're right. I'll open it when I get back. Not a single one of my other children would do that. He did not open a brand new phone before camp. He just wanted the phone number.
That is something else.
Crazy. He's a very special kid. That being said, I want to just shout out Aaron. Aaron is doing great. His bed was made. I talked about this on the drive-by. I'm blown away. He's
amazing.
Neat. He's getting, the counselor said he gets up early. It's unbelievable. This kid, he's figured it out.
Incredible.
Shout out to the Kaylie people. They figured out Aaron.
Yeah, they did it. Well, yeah, we said Kaylie's a magical place.
It is a magical place. The one thing that Aaron, it drives him crazy is that I talk to everybody. I'm like a big
Oh
schmoozer.
my God.
I'm
My
a
family
huge
hates that about
schmoozer.
me. Yeah, me
You
too.
too, right?
Yep.
I'm a huge schmoozer at
It's
like
almost hard
visiting
to
day.
believe that you and I are schmoozers, that we talk a lot.
It's a good point. As we record ourselves,
We should
talking
have a
right now.
podcast.
We should have a podcast. I mean, we could be doing this on the phone, but instead we want you all to listen to it. Anyway, so like I'm a big schmoozer. It's so terrible. And like we're davening mincha, and then Rabbi Leibowitz gives a 10-minute halacha, and Rabbi Leibowitz has been my Rebbe since I was in Dira since 10th grade. And then after the 10-minute halacha, I feel this tug on my arm, and it's Aaron. He's like, Abba, you cannot talk to anybody. And he's right. I do schmooze way too much. By the way, a lot of people have been listening and seeing our clips online.
Yes.
A lot of people are asking about the podcast. A lot.
I got a lot of comments. I got a lot of comments on the how much do you bench clip that we put up. That was really funny. Yeah,
that was
a lot
funny.
of people like that. This is a good time, by the way, to remind people to please like and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram, on YouTube. You can send us an email at carpoolguyspod@gmail.com. Follow us. You can listen to us, I should say, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music. I mean, we're everywhere. Everywhere you get your podcast.
We're everywhere.
We are everywhere.
So we've been talking a lot about a couple of things we are planning to roll out in the next few weeks. We are going to be starting a WhatsApp group for our listeners. I don't want to say fans because, like, come on.
Yeah, our listeners, friends of the show.
Friends of the show. So we want a focus group type of WhatsApp group. Maybe you could help us also to push out the show to those people that you care about, love, or want to annoy. And you can send in questions, send comments, and we want your feedback. We love the feedback. You could even, if you're in the WhatsApp group, send us your anti-Semitic stuff, and we'll be able to respond.
Exactly. It's a direct pipeline to us. Question of the week. You
could answer the question of the week. You could answer the question
of the week. Submit the question, answer the question, the rapid fire questions, give us topics. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from the people who listen to the show. What are the things you want to hear us talk about? What are some of the topics that you care about, that you're passionate about, that you'd like us to explore? And we want to involve you in the process, creating community around the Carpool Guys podcast. So if you're interested in joining the WhatsApp group, let us know. You can send us an email, carpoolguyspod@gmail.com, or you can text Asher, text me, text Dave, and we'll add you to the group. We're excited about this.
We will make this happen. And keep in mind, as you have seen, Carpool Guys does not mean just guys. It's guys and gals. Number two, we're working on it. We are working on it. It's exciting. We're going to start making magnets. And for your car, the official Carpool Guys magnet, we will be rolling that out pretty soon. And this way you can broadcast to the entire world. Not only that you learn Daf Yomi, but you also
not only Daf Yomi, but you also listener of the Carpool Guys.
You also
podcast.
Listen to the Carpool Guys podcast, and that you are a fan.
Just a reminder also, please give us a review, rate and review the show. 5-star reviews would be awesome. It helps unlock our episodes, helps unlock the show so that other people can find it more easily. So
you were telling me something about the algorithm that within the first 45 minutes, if you react to it, it boosts the algorithm. More people can get access to it, something like that.
Listen,
I don't know.
It's like magic.
It's just like magic. It's like magic.
The AI overlords are the ones who control everything now. So we're happy about. Speaking about AI overlords today, by the way, I had an amazing opportunity at work. The OU has a new program. They have a group of interns who are all working on various AI projects in the OU and in the Torah world. Very exciting. And I got to speak to them for a while today. And first of all, I had a blast. It was super fun. I want to give a shout out to my new good friend, Yair Lou, who put the whole thing together.
Related to Jack Lou?
So I don't know if he is related to Jack Lou. He is, however, related to Rabbi Lou from Central.
Wow.
I don't know if you know Rabbi Lou. I am a big Rabbi Lou fan and follower. Rabbi Lou is a family favorite at Central. My daughter had him. My sister-in-law had him. Multiple sisters-in-law had him at Central. Anyway, I find out that Yair, who runs this program, is his son. And that was all of a sudden my brain exploding all over the place.
Mind blowing.
And then it got better or worse, depending on how you look at it. I find out kind of after the fact that, and shout out to my new friend, Tzipora Rosenbach. So she is the daughter of my good friend, Dale Rosenbach. We went to OJ together like a million years ago. And it's crazy because now my friend's kids are working at the OU. And so this is now a whole new level of, oh my God, I feel old. Because as I was going around the table, I realized, right, you're the niece of somebody I know, you're the son, you're the daughter of somebody I know. And like, I've hit that place. In fact, last year I spoke for my good friends at Yachad. I spoke at one of their professional development days. And I had mentioned that, I've been with NCSY and the OU now for almost, at that point, it was almost 25 years. Now that's passed. I've been here officially 25 years. And this woman gets up and she says, wow, that's longer than I've been alive. And now it's great because we're friends and that moment has passed. But in the moment, that was like wow, okay.
This is what I have to say. You're not imagining it, Jon. You are, in fact, old. Like, very old.
That old.
You are that old. You're an old man. We're happy to know you, but you are, in fact, old.
But it was great despite me feeling like I'm a million years old. This group was awesome. Very, very smart. I was punching way above my weight class there. They were out of my league in terms of intelligence. I mean, if this is a crew that's getting together to like design AI systems for the OU, clearly they're a little bit beyond what I'm capable of. But it was awesome. We went over a lot of really fun career and life lessons. And I want to put that out there that if that's something people want to hear about, people want to talk about on the show, is career stories, lessons, thoughts, and ideas from us. I think that could be a fun direction for us to go sometime. So if you want to learn like the AI interns did today, let us know, and we'd be happy to do shows like that. But there was something kind of special also, even, putting aside that, that I felt very old. There's something special about, okay, I'm now, maybe I'm the expert. Maybe I'm somebody who knows what I'm talking about. I sometimes feel like I don't know what I'm talking about. But with the group today, at least I was introduced as somebody who knew what they were talking about, which is sort of a mixed bag for me. And I think it's a good segue into our topic of the day. Asher?
Yeah, so we were talking a lot about this earlier today when we were in our planning sesh.
Yes.
Right? Is that what we call it?
That's what the kids call it these days.
Is that true?
I don't know. They're not telling me.
They're not telling me. They're not telling me either. Usually they're like, "You're so cringe." That's usually
so cringe.
My daughter.
I've gotten that from my kids before.
It's like, come on. Okay. Anyway, we have talked about this many, many times, you and I, and that is the topic of imposter syndrome and confidence, and the just that curve, which they call the Dunning-Kruger curve, where you're either overly confident, and that's often when you start off. And then as you get more knowledge and as you've accrued more experience, you realize, I don't know what I think I'm supposed to know. Or people are asking you advice and you're like, I don't know what to tell you. And it's really, one of these things that we all struggle with. I'm sure I have many stories about this, but it sounds like, you were in a room today with very bright people. Were you feeling a little bit like the imposter?
So it's interesting because I was brought in to be the expert. I was the guest speaker, guest presenter. And so I had a program planned and we did it. I executed the program and it was great. And they had a lot of fun and I had a lot of fun. So in this instance, but I think part of it also being that I'm much older than them, it was smooth. It felt fine. I have absolutely been in other presentations. Much
Okay.
much older.
Much.
But there's been multiple times where
Your great-grandfather.
I am very much regretting telling you this story, by the way. Nobody else who's listening, I regret, but telling you the story, I deeply regret.
Yes.
So I didn't feel it today, but I feel it regularly walking into a room where I'm going to present and seeing people who are older than me or who are, maybe they outrank me or just they're in a different business. I don't know. I feel it sometimes even at Shabbos meals where people are talking about, I'm the vice president of this, or I've done this, or I've accomplished this. And I find myself sometimes trying to justify what I do. I don't know. Do you ever do that? Where it's like, I know what I do is important and I know that I'm good at it, but sometimes I feel like I'm trying to justify it. Does that make sense?
This year, I mean, we've talked about this before, this past school year. So one of my supervisors and mentors Miriam Steiner. So she used to be the director of the counseling department for 8th grade through 12th grade. And when the middle school merged with the lower school, so Miriam stayed with the high school and I became the director of counseling for the middle school. And I definitely had a massive wave of whether it was imposter syndrome or just feeling like I no longer had that net. And it was a very overwhelming feeling. I don't know if I'm really out of that feeling yet, but it was certainly a feeling of like, I don't really always know the answers to it. And sometimes there are really important questions that it doesn't seem to be that you could just Google it or you can, find it. Now, I try to approach life. I try with humility and trying to say, I don't know the answer. I will try my best to look into it. But I think when I have interacted with my own mentors, when they say to me, I don't know, I'll look into it, I think I respect them more than when they come up with something that it doesn't feel right. And then you're like, ugh.
It's so much better saying I don't know. Really, it does show a level of confidence because somebody with less confidence might make up an answer or might like in the moment panic and say, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, and say it with more authority than they actually have. So saying I don't know, I mean, aside from being honest, I think is even a sign of confidence. Like, I don't know, but I'll find out or I'll help you find the answer.
Right.
But I'm not going to make up an answer.
You're right that it's a sign of confidence to the point that you're like, I'm not going to lose my job by saying I don't know.
Right.
I'm sure there are people out there that do feel threatened by the point of saying like, I don't know. And it would be unfortunate if that would be in fact the case. But at the same time, I do remember when I was still in graduate school and I hadn't yet gotten my MSW, I remember thinking I knew everything. And it just like, I remember a story that in my head, I went over to one of the social workers in the school and I'm like, and by the way, I'm in graduate school for social work and I know everything. And this student needs this, this, and this. And it's like, looking back on that story now, I'm like, I was such a fool. Okay, yes, there are some brilliant people out there in the world. But like when you're first starting out, you need to learn by experience. You're not going to know everything. That's just the nature of the beast.
God,
you're
it's
not
like parenting. It's. I remember when my oldest daughter Asher was born. I don't know if you had this in the hospital. Did they make you watch the "Don't Shake the Baby" video?
Yes, they did.
So I watched it. They made us watch it.
They did.
I watched it. I'm like, okay, I know "Don't Shake the Baby." It's the whole rest of it that I don't know. I don't know anything else. I remember very clearly, and Nechama made so much fun of me. I was so upset. I couldn't swaddle. I didn't know how to like fold the blanket. I couldn't swaddle. And I'm like, I'm going to be a terrible father. I can't swaddle the baby, but I know not to shake the baby. But it was just like, what do you even do? And you kind of figure it out.
It's a very funny, it's a good point. You're saying it's like this much we can tell you.
Yeah.
The rest you're going to have to figure out on your own.
It's like also,
when
it's
you
funny.
Get in the car seat has to be buckled in properly.
Yeah, the car seat. Do you have a car seat? That's all you need.
We're not going to tell you how to buckle the child into the car.
No.
But the car seat itself needs to be buckled into the car.
All you need, do you have the ticket to bring the kid home? What's the ticket? Do you have a car seat? Because in order to bring a child home, all you need is a car seat. I have no knowledge of anything else, but I have a car seat. So
it's true.
I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go. So, like, look, I happen to find it a little bit frustrating when you're interacting with certain professionals that are very, very early on in their career and have an overabundance of confidence. Now, it could be that it's a veil. Maybe they don't realize that it's okay to say they don't know. And maybe they're just overcompensating with confidence. But also, I have interacted with other people that want to learn and are thirsting for knowledge. Sometimes it's overwhelming because you don't feel like you have all the answers. I am, in my job, I am a supervisor. I am also supervising interns who are in their first and second year of social work graduate school. But it's sometimes kids will come to us, I call them kids, and they're thirsting for knowledge. They want information. Sometimes you want them, not necessarily learn the hard way like I did, but you also sometimes need to learn in a way that leaves a bad taste in your mouth because you're going to ultimately not make that mistake again. I had one of my supervisors, Susan Heckler, who I literally spoke to last week. She was my supervisor in the clinic for 5 years, and we have remained close. She's an incredibly special person to me, and she just has helped me really become the social worker that I am today. But I call her all the time when I have questions. One of the things that she shared with me was, it's not always about the conversation you have. It's about the conversation after the conversation. You can make mistakes. You're allowed to make mistakes. I have made many mistakes. And
Listen, we all have. It's even part of the intro to the podcast. Is we've made mistakes.
It's true.
Lots
it's a great
of mistakes.
intro, by the way. I
It's
really
a great,
enjoy it
what
every
a great
time.
intro.
It is a great intro.
What you're saying is absolutely true. I'll tell you in a different angle. There was a point in my career, and you were along with me for this part of the journey where things at work, we're all a little up and down.
When we were in NAM?
In NAM, yeah, you were with me in NAM, exactly.
I know, I wasn't, but you were there.
There were times at work where things were a little bumpy, as everybody has at work. It's not always just smooth sailing. And there was a point in my career where I was number 2 in a 2-person department, and I felt like my career was at a little bit of a dead end. And forget like not having the confidence in the room, walking in and having imposter syndrome. It felt like my whole job was kind of like bottom rung at that point. And I'll tell you a thing that really changed things for me personally was when we started getting into the podcast stuff and playing with ideas and talking things through. And I started the first pod, the precursor to the Carpool guys. I had no idea how to make a podcast. I didn't know how to record. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know what you did. I didn't know a Spotify from an Apple, from a Good Pods, certainly.
Well, now we know.
And now we know. Shouts to Good Pods. But
Good Pods.
What I learned kind of about myself was that I could still learn. And that for me unlocked something, that even if the job where I wasn't going where I thought it was, I could still learn. I can still accomplish new things. And by the way, talking about how do you overcome imposter syndrome? How do you work your way past it? For me, when I developed the skills to do podcasting and I started doing podcasts at work, I started the NCSY Pulse podcast for a while and positioning myself to say, okay, now I'm quote unquote the expert, right? I have so many experts that I go to. Lahavdil, like a Rebbe, a rabbi going to a post.
A mentor. You have someone who you look up to.
But I have people that I go to for my questions. Shouts to my good friend Jackie. But I
thought she
really
was our
showed
good
me,
friend, even though I've never met her. And
she exists.
Dave,
she exists. She was a friend. I'll tell you this. She was my NCSYer once upon a time, and then she was a volunteer NCSY advisor, and then she worked for me, and now she is my mentor in this space. But I learned I can still do things, and that turned things around for me, and that led me to the road. Now I work in talent development, where I learned so much about my new job that I function in some ways. I'm not going to say I'm the expert, but I function as an authority, I would say, and that really turned things around because I knew I could learn.
Did you say you're in talent development?
Yes.
Have I told you that I could sing?
There's limits to my ability. Let me just put this out there.
Look, one of the things that we are aware of just from the science of imposter syndrome is that it often does affect people who are highly competent because
Not
how
us,
much
but other people.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
But you know how much you know, and you know that there's so much more out there that you don't know. I was offered a job and I was like flooded by imposter syndrome to the point where I felt like I would be the dummy on the dais. I hope that I was the one who coined that phrase. And
the dummy on the dais? I like it.
I literally thought I was going to be the dummy on the dais. I thought I was going to be the dumbest guy in the room. And it was a big job. And honestly, it was an unbelievable opportunity. But I really could not get myself over that part of it. It was not the only factor, but it was certainly a very, very difficult thing for me to get past. And the question ends up being, and it's like, is imposter syndrome something that holds you back? Is it, I was having a meal with someone on Shabbos, and they said that many people in the field, they referenced women in the field, hold themselves back because of imposter syndrome.
Absolutely.
to me, that's fascinating, that it holds you back from growth, from throwing yourselves into opportunities. But it's certainly, it held me back this time. And a lot of people told me that they thought it was a good opportunity, but I couldn't get myself there.
Right. It's hard even for myself. I've had job openings that I've looked at and just kind of poking around in the past where I'm saying, oh, that job looks interesting. And I look at the qualifications, the requirements, and I'm like, I can't do that. Maybe I can, maybe I can't, but I don't feel like I look at the qualifications. I'm like, that's above me. And the reality is it's probably not. I probably could have done many of those jobs, but I agree with you. I held myself back. Let me ask you this though. Do you ever find that because of the imposter syndrome, you agree to do things that ordinarily you wouldn't be doing? Maybe an authority figure, it's a boss or it's a president of a board, or it's somebody who's an authority figure says, hey, could you do this? And
I think earlier on in my career, yes. As I got older and I developed a little bit stronger of a sense of self, and sometimes when it's something that's like beyond what I want to say yes to, and I've set that boundary. Boundaries is something Miriam Steiner has taught me a lot about over the years. For example, something came up recently in camp. We were talking about parents who reach out at off hours, and it was something that Daniel Strzok, the director of AVNet, actually mentioned to me. He said, look, if it's after hours, don't respond to the person. And then I just call them in the morning. And it happened to be, that happened. I called the person the next day, and they said, oh, I'm so sorry that I sent you the message the night before. And I said, sure, it's no problem.
It's interesting because I think there's a difference. There are people who don't think and then shoot off a WhatsApp or a 5-minute voice note or something like that. But there's also people who don't acknowledge the boundaries. I got a couple messages over the long weekend. I got WhatsApp messages from people saying, hey, following up. I'm like, hey, not working. It's the weekend, or Friday we had off for 4th of July, and you don't see me knocking on your door, pestering you about something on your days off. Don't do it to me. And certainly not if you don't need it. Like if it's something that's critical, there's an emergency, or there's something you need. Okay, we can have that conversation. But even then, now is really not the time. But somebody was asking me for something that was really, really not critical. It was not important. There was no time constraints. It could have been asked anytime. Forget Monday. It could have been a week from now, And so I think people sometimes lose themselves in this whatever, be part of the team. And there's a difference between being a team player, being flexible, being dedicated, right? Those are all good, but that kind of fades and it kind of blends into this, like, you don't want to be a doormat, and you can't be available except for Dave. Dave's available 24. Did you know that?
24/7.
24/7.
24/7.
It's really quite something.
I mean, we make fun of him, but since he's not here, it's not easy what he does, and he really has a tremendous amount of responsibility. Now, don't tell him we said this, please. But he really works very hard, and he is incredibly well respected, and he is incredibly good at what he does. And when we kidbits around about 24/7, he is very important. And when his phone goes off, it's emergency, and he knows what to do. And he really does deal with life and death matters. And all power to him. We will still make fun of him about 24/7.
Absolutely. Hey, do you think is he still listening at this point? Do you think he's got?
No, how can he be listening? He's busy. He's
saying
busy 24/7.
Now, you say he's busy just in general. Dave does not listen to the show.
No, he's too busy.
He's too busy.
He's too busy.
Yeah, but like you said, all respect to Dave. Some people, it's so interesting to see, and I do think a lot of times it's a learned habit, and I've seen it where it's like, they do it and their boss does it, and I see I don't know if you remember, there was an episode of the TV show How I Met Your Mother a bunch of years ago, and they had the chain of yelling.
Yes.
Where you yell at somebody and then they get mad, so they yell at somebody. So
very true to life. So true to life.
100%. 100%. There's Masora to this stuff where you learn. It's a learned habit. I had this amazing conversation with a coworker, and she was not responding to my emails, to my text messages, to my phone calls finally, I spoke to her and I was like, hey, what's happening? I know you. You're so good and you're so talented. What's happening right now? Because I know in college they didn't teach you this. And I know that you're extremely intelligent. It's a learned habit. She tried to say, no. I'm like, no, it's a learned habit. You've developed, it's okay, but we're going to unlearn it. I'm going to work with you to correct. But it's the same thing where people, the boundaries dissolve. And yeah, I'm going to text you.
Well, those are like the too strong boundaries. Like look, everybody has to set their own boundaries. But there are some people who have boundaries that are they have a wall between them and the world.
Sure.
And honestly, it's off-putting to some people. But at the same time, look, everybody has to set their own situation. And we never know what's going on in other people's lives. I like to say this often. I am privy to a lot of information because of being a therapist. I still don't know everything that's going on in people's lives, despite the fact that they're telling me a lot of stuff. I still don't know everything because people still hold things back. The reality is that sometimes a person could be going through something major in their life, and that's not why. But what you did was very wise, and that was you not confronted, but you addressed it. You went head on instead of just ignoring it and letting it fester and become something bigger. You were able to address it head on, and then actually, I remember you telling me this story a few weeks ago. It actually led to a positive and productive conversation.
It does. Absolutely. And if you do it in a positive way and you have a relationship and you build a relationship with somebody, you can have open and honest conversations. You can give constructive suggestions. It's not the word criticism I don't like. I don't like constructive criticism because it still has the word criticism, which
you
has a
did
negative.
Say that to me today while I was driving home. You had, I don't want to say criticism, but it's like constructive criticism about you saying beautiful and amazing.
Yeah.
You did say
you took it like a champ, and good for you.
Jon, you are not amazing or beautiful.
Yeah,
All right.
All right, good. So
we have reached the moment, I believe, question of the week. The question
of the week, just to put a bow on this, by the way, is first of all, well said, and Imposter Syndrome, it's real, but hopefully we had some takeaways where you can listen and say, okay, I'm not alone.
One of the beautiful things I saw in the notes, by the way, when we were doing some research, Imposter Syndrome is not a diagnosis. It is real. But that doesn't mean it's a diagnosis that you will be stuck with forever. Like you were saying, you can work through Imposter Syndrome. What?
I said correct, and I'm like,
okay,
oh, man,
you said correct. You know what? You said it. It's fine. You're more. You're superior than I. Okay, yeah. But the point is, it is not a diagnosis. You can work through it. It doesn't mean that you're not going to struggle with it, but you will push through it. Consult mentors. Find out how normal it is. Everybody, many people. I can't say everybody. I don't know if, Son of Sam, in his serial killing days went through, imposter syndrome. But I don't know. That was the first person who came to mind. But the reality is it's normal. It's something that we go through. Go seek wisdom from mentors. They will tell you their own experiences and then normalizes it for you.
Yep. Agreed. Okay. Question of the week in honor of Dave Tannenbaum.
You know what? I'm going to sponsor Question of the Week this week in honor of Dave. I don't know how much it costs.
It's like a kiddish, right? This week.
It is like a kiddish.
Question of the Week is sponsored by.
It's
in honor of
$180. That's what the
sure.
What it's going for
yes. $180 to sponsor Question of the Week, and if we get enough people, we'll make it a gala Question of the Week
in honor of Avi and Dave Tannenbaum, who are valiant workers for Camp Kaylie in their own way.
Yep.
Okay. Hit it, Jon. What is the question of the week?
Okay. What do you... Let's see. How am I phrasing this? What is your favorite part of 4th of July, and what is your least favorite part of 4th of July?
It's a great question. I'm struggling. I hate to say it. It's a really terrible thing to say. I am struggling this 4th of July and we talked about this with Aliyah anxiety many, many months ago, and we're going to have to readdress it. I am really, the anti-Semitism, all of it. And I don't mean to be negative, but it has been difficult. The rabbi in Long Branch where we were for Shabbos, he addressed it actually. And I was really amazed that he brought it up, that the conflicting feelings that are going on in, I don't remember if it's Jewish Americans or American Jews or whatever it is, but Jews who live in America, There is certainly something in the water at the moment. It's not a shark, but it's certainly something. But my favorite thing I do like fireworks. I think it's fun. I like when bringing my kids. I like it that they, they're amazed by it. I'm amazed by it. It's fun. The one thing I think is overrated about fireworks is this concept of the quote unquote grand finale. Like everybody's like, wait. Also, you're like, is that the grand finale? Is that
right?
Is that
right.
the grand? Wait. Did we? Wait, it's
it?
over?
No, there's one more. No, that was just some guy in his backyard.
I can never figure out which is the grand finale, but
Yeah.
I do like the fireworks. I like the gold ones that like shoot up and then burst, and then there's the later burst and it goes like that's the one that I'm doing the special effects for you, the listener. By the way, that was for you. That's the one I like, and I enjoy it. I like the different colors. I like these physics around it. I like the chemistry. I'm a fireworks guy. I happen to enjoy a good fireworks show.
I hear you. It's funny. First of all, I like the fireworks also, but I feel like it's gotten to the point, I'm okay. Let me separate this. Fireworks somewhere at a location, awesome, right? Okay, we're going to this place. We're going to go see the fireworks. Great. We have a lot of fireworks here in West Hempstead, like a lot.
It's not fireworks. Let's be honest with ourselves. We've talked about this many times. When it's July 4th, through the entire month of July,
it's crazy.
It's like bombs going off left and
like
right. Now,
really
we don't
crazy.
want to chas v'chalila. We do not want to compare ourselves to Achenu b'nei Yisrael be'eretz Yisrael. But it's a
I'll
lot.
tell you this. On 4th of July, right, it was Shabbos. So Motzei Shabbos, there was fireworks. And it was awesome. My kids went out to the front lawn. We had a great view. We actually had a view of like 4 different areas doing fireworks at the same time. We could see them and hear them. It was kind of cool. And it was cool at 9 o'clock. And it was cool at 9:30 and then 10 o'clock and 10:30. And by 11 o'clock, my 8-year-old, my 6-year-old are like crying. They want to go to sleep. My kids never want to go to sleep. And they're crying. They want to go to sleep. 11:30. 12. I'm like, what is going on with this? Like, we bring the fireworks. Give us the fire. I love the fireworks too much. There has to be a time where we just say enough. We don't need all the fireworks at like 12 o'clock at night. I get it. I sound like, again, the theme tonight is like I'm the old man in the room, but like I don't want to be the party pooper, but at the same time,
do you wear earplugs, John?
I do. I draw the line somewhere. I do not wear earplugs.
That's fair.
My favorite part of 4th of July. It's so funny. You went very, very like deep on all this stuff. My stuff is very superficial. I know that our question of the week revolves around food.
You're a superficial dude.
I'm very superficial. I have these childhood things that I hold on to.
That's true. You're a product of the Midwest, and
I am a product of the Midwest. Yeah. I love root beer floats, and when I tried to introduce it to my family, they were zero. My wife was like, "I'm not interested."
My father is huge root beer float. Huge root beer.
My kids, by the way, my younger kids have converted. They love root beer floats now.
To what?
To root beer floatism.
Oh, okay. Okay, you got to be clear on that one.
They're fanatic. They're ultra orthodox root beer float drinkers, I would say.
How could you not be?
It's delicious.
First of all, root beer is probably the best soda. I'm sorry to say this. To Diet Coke, which I love. Everybody knows caffeine-free Diet Coke. Love caffeine-free Diet Coke. But root beer is the best.
It is. And by the way, I think you can be Yotze.
And not cream soda. Cream soda is gross.
I think you can
disgusting.
be Yotze, the float with Coke. I've had Coke floats. They're still also pretty good.
Also good.
You could be
Not
Yotze. But my wife, my in-laws, we had in-laws in from Israel, not interested. And I went out and I bought root beer. I bought Coke. I bought ice cream. We had a blast.
They didn't want it.
My little kids had a blast. I love root beer floats. And I know it's funny, by the way, I'm a big, for all the Yom Tovim, we have like the different foods, and food is such a huge part of Judaism, of all the different things. Like there is absolutely a link to like your childhood and to your past and to like the customs of the Masorah. I'm not comparing root beer floats to like matzah, although I think there's something there. And to me, it's like really, it's a special thing. And we have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, love the root beer floats, but
the one thing, if you have listened this far, you deserve a treat.
And
that is the following story, though I will not name which child it is.
Oh no.
So it is well known that you can see the fireworks really well from your side of town. in Dogwood.
Yes.
Like if you go to Dogwood and to the area by what's that that supermarket over
Like
there?
Franklin Square. Like Lidl.
Idle?
Yeah. Lidl.
Lidl. So if you go to Lidl, so my children have a tendency to like to climb on top of the car and watch the fireworks. One of my children
Where are
was
we going
not
with this?
wearing underwear, and everybody got a show.
Oof.
So it was special. Anyway, we wish you all a wonderful July 4th weekend. Again, a happy birthday to Izzy, one of our number one listeners, Izzy and Aaron. We miss you in camp. And it was a blast. Dave,
Yes.
we hope that you're doing well. We miss you. Hope to see you soon. And we hope that we did you justice with our question of the week.
Yes, absolutely.
It's
We
hard.
do. And
it's hard to live in your shadow.
Reminder, if you are interested in joining our WhatsApp group, let us know. carpoolguyspod@gmail.com. We would love to have you to contribute, to weigh in on question of the week and all of our topics.
Should we start it tonight?
We should start it.
Let's start tonight.
Let's go.
And like, there are some people that like text us. We can name some people. Should we? I feel
Are
like
we
Yoshua
naming
Alman.
names?
Yoshua
I
Alman's
feel like
gonna wanna be
Yoshua
in this
Alman
group.
is number one on the list of being included, being invited.
Also, and Naftali. Naftali's gonna want it.
Naftali Pfeiffer, friend of the show. Absolutely.
Naftali Pfeiffer is a friend of the show. Well, there are some people that we
Are
know.
we inviting our parents into this? Probably no.
Yeah. So my mother.
Yeah.
It's a long.
We should make
story.
Asher separate WhatsApp group for our moms, just to like talk
I mean,
about
my
the
mother's
show.
not gonna check it, to be fair, but whatever. All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. I feel like Dave would be yawning at this point.
Oh, long time.
All right.